Hello and welcome. This is Property Hotline. I am Kavita Krishnan and we are answering all your questions on buying, selling and investing in real estate today. With me on the show is Amit Goenka, MD and CEO of Nisus Finance. Amit, loads of questions from viewers on buying real estate. It should bring cheer to a lot of builders out there, to the real estate market as such. Looks like the market is looking up for a bit.
Absolutely, Kavita. I think it's a good time, and I think, of course, the budget has provided a lot of incentives for buyers, especially in the affordable segment. More so, I think, buoyed by the market sentiments, developers are also making a very, very hard push to ensure that inventory moves out at this time. So clearly a good time to look at options across various markets.
Good time to look at options across markets. And let's start with Bengaluru. Prakash says he's looking for a 3 BHK flat over there and his budget is around 1 crore rupees. He wants to know, is it a good place to buy in? Can you please suggest properties that I could consider? Bangalore obviously is a great market to buy into. I can tell you that. But Amit, where should he be looking if he has a budget of 1 crore in Bangalore?
So rightly said, Kavita, that Bangalore is a good market because it is continuing to be fueled by an extraordinary absorption of commercial real estate, which is obviously adding a lot more jobs, adding a lot more absorption in the market, and therefore the inventory overhang across the country is the lowest in Bangalore. They're carrying less than about a year of inventory today compared to maybe 3 years in Bombay and maybe up to 5 years in the NCR region. So compared to that, I think obviously therefore the upside potential always looks good in Bangalore, as well as the opportunity to resell also continues to look good in Bangalore. So when you look at Bengaluru, I think there are about 3 or 4 key micro markets that people at large would consider from an investment perspective. If you start looking at South Bangalore, then the 2 markets are Electronic City and Whitefield. Have been traditional markets. Of course, more recently Sarjapur and Outer Ring Road have been added to that belt. You'll see the Electronic City has seen a growth in the recent times of almost 9%, where stock has been trading for about 3,500 rupees and has gone up to over 4,000 rupees in the recent times. Likewise, Sarjapur Road, because the Outer Ring Road has also shown good amount of traction because of large amount of IT development which has already come and absorption which has happened. New projects have been announced as well by RMZ and a few other development platforms which have been set up to actually build ITS properties in that vicinity. I think if you're looking at that budget, clearly you have a very, very wide range of options because the average price of Bangalore is about 5,500 rupees. So a 3 BHK at 1,500 square feet thereabout will actually give you a plethora of options in across all markets of Bangalore to look at a 3 BHK option. If you look at, for example, Electronic City, Prakash, you will see that there are ready-to-move-in projects which are being offered. Like, for example, you have VSI, Aishwarya, Patel's Mondo 2, etc., which are trading at close to 4,000 to 4,500 rupees a square foot, which is a good entry price on an all-inclusive perspective. And of course, there are slightly more expensive properties which are under development. Then if you go to Whitefield and Whitefield South, for example, Godrej has come up with a very nice project which is very attractively priced at 3,000 rupees, and we've seen how Godrej properties have actually done quite well in Bangalore. So you can actually consider this as a very strong option for yourself in South Whitefield, which is trading at around 3,000 rupees per square foot. Since the average price is 4,500 rupees, you can expect a significant upside over the next 2 years once the property is ready for possession. In Sarjapur, again, we have options in Shriram properties, Soparnika, etc., which are ready to move in properties, which are again trading at close to 3,000 to 3,500 rupees a square foot. If you look at Shriram, or if you're looking at the other brands that we're talking of within Sarjapur, Attibel Road in Bangalore, you will get even something which is sub 3,000 rupees. There has been a movement to South Bangalore because of the influx of affordable housing, which have moved beyond the main ORR to moving towards the Attibel Road. And finally, of course, North Bangalore continues to remain a favorite because of the Manyata Tech Park development. Again, there's been a very large development in Manyata Tech Park, which has added more stock and more inventory, and therefore a lot of interest in moving from Yalanka down to Thani Sandra to Hebbal. Of course, Thani Sandra is better than Hebbal in terms of pricing. You'll get something closer to 4,000 to 4,500 rupees. And clearly, as you can see, Manyata Tech Park area has done the best in terms of a price
17% growth over there, Amit. But also tell us this, and since Prakash is really working with a 1 crore rupee budget, which is a really very comfortable budget to have for the Bangalore market, would you recommend that he, looks at those serviced apartments that a lot of developers are, launching in Bangalore, considering that it is such a strong rental market as well? Does that make sense? Will it give him, an extra edge as far as rental returns are concerned?
No, not necessarily, Kavita. I think, people do prefer a normal, residential tower which has got all amenities and not necessarily as a service apartment. The concept is good, but the cost of ownership, the cost of maintenance, the outgo effectively is much higher. And Bangalore continues to be a price sensitive market. So if you're going for a serviced apartment as an investor, you will continue to have a lot of outgo in terms of maintenance, property services, etc., which the end consumer may not be willing to take. Again, the cost of fit out is not that much, and you can actually rent out a lot of the fit outs these days. So it is almost better, because you do get warm shell developments in Bangalore where the internal work is really minimalistic, and you can obviously furnish it as well minimalistically, so that the tenant can then decide what sort of amenities he wants to additionally put in. And most tenants don't mind putting in certain additional amenities as well. So I would recommend that to be lean in terms of the overall cost of acquisition, and as well as in terms of continued outgo of operating cost. And service apartments are an expensive proposition to that expense. It works well for if a developer is directly renting it out.
Right.
Then there's no intermediation of an investor required. So I don't think it is required.
Right. So as an investor, what you need to remember is that the Bangalore market is a price-sensitive market. So keep that in mind when you go out looking for flats in Bangalore. Sumer says that he wants to buy a 3 BHK flat in Hinjewadi in Pune. Is this a good investment bet? Is it the right time to buy another IT-driven location? Good investment bet, of course, right, Amit?
Yeah, I think Hinjewadi has seen a lot of traction, especially with the development of Hinjewadi 2, 3, and then obviously going beyond Chandni Chowk, etc. So prices have gradually dropped over a period of time. We've seen prices which started at 3,000 go up to almost 6,500, 7,000 rupees in 2011-12 to now dropping back to 5,500 rupee levels. And people have started developing more compact, more affordable developments in Hinjewadi. I think with the advent of Exurbia and a lot of other affordable housing developers, I think people have made a very big beeline for Hinjewadi, because now you can actually get flats for less than 50 lakh rupees as well in Hinjewadi. But having said that, the supply is tremendous. It is a very specific catchment area, and there are obviously competing micro markets like Balewadi on the same side, to Bane, Aund, etc. on the other side of the road. So one needs to be slightly more careful in terms of what project one is going to buy into. Some of the more popular developments, whether it's Kulte Patil, whether it's Blue Ridge by Paranjpe, Megapolis, etc., continue to dominate the landscape in Hinjewadi because of its large integrated development, and because of the fact that people have been buying, staying and occupying these properties. But again, I think Hinjewadi is a good buy if you're looking morely from a rental perspective. Capital appreciation will take time to come up because of the sheer supply that has actually erupted in Hinjewadi across phase 1, 2 and 3.
So easy to rent out in Hinjewadi, but tell me this, Amit, if he does intend to buy in Hinjewadi, to invest over there and rent it out, how long would he need to hold on to that to actually see significant appreciation? What kind of appreciation can he really expect over there?
So as I said, Kavita, that prices have seen a high of 6,500, 7,000 rupees. Today we are looking at an average price of about 5,500 rupees. You're showing a chart of 5,900 rupees at the very peak to about 5,700 rupees now. So as I said, 5,500 rupees is what one is expected to enter into. In about 3 to 5 years time, one expects that it will go back to 6,500 rupees, because there is no new land supply available anymore. I think most of the land bank has been now utilized, and projects have been launched by across all phases. So once that supply stabilizes, which will take about 3 years, you can expect the price to go back to 6,500 rupees in that period of time. So that will be the appreciation of almost about 25% to 30%, but it will take about almost 3 to 4 years. So an average escalation of almost 8 to 10% a year is what one can expect.
And
but
3 to 4 years is ideally what you should be holding any asset for, especially real estate. You should be holding it at least for a minimum of 5 years if you want to see any significant appreciation. So makes sense, good market to buy into, tad oversupplied at the moment, but you can expect a cap on the supply because there is very limited land available over there. Krishnan has a question in Mumbai. He says, I want to buy a 3 BHK flat in Powai. Please tell me more about the projects and developers here. What are the current rates in Powai?
So Powai is a very interesting market, especially now with the IT story and the startup story, because it is the Silicon Valley of Mumbai effectively. And a lot of large startups have actually started and continue to thrive in and around the Powai area. And I think that's really the biggest growth driver for Powai. The prices continue to hover in the 18 to 20,000 rupees a square foot mark. You will get projects which are ready to move in within that price bracket. L&T has obviously started its own development called L&T Emerald Isle, which is again within that same price bracket of about 19 to 20,000 rupees, which is almost nearing completion, which is I think a very, very good and a very well developed project. Of course, and then there are very other ready to move in projects as well in that micro market, depending on what sort of an integrated. So if you go for standalone redeveloped buildings, you'll even find it for 16, 17,000. If you're going for larger integrated development with all amenities, etc., they will tend to hover around 19, 20,000. So there's Raj Grandeur, which is available at about 22,000. Shapurji Palonji has come up with a very nice project as well, which is currently very attractively priced. Of course, it'll take about 3 years to deliver that project, and Raheja Vihar is again a good project. So there are a number of projects which are in that price band, but if you're looking to buy the absolute creme de la creme, then there are new developments in Hirandani Gardens by Hirandani themselves, which are obviously priced at 28 to 30,000 rupees. But then that's again a very, very sort of a very specific micro market, it's very specific development, and people who want that brand and who want that quality and who want to stay right in the heart of Hirandani Gardens will then go for that. But otherwise, all these other options are good, and especially because the price appreciation potential, if you're buying it somewhere in the 17, 18,000 mark, actually looks far better, because I expect the Powai market to stabilize at about 22 to 24,000 rupees a square foot going forward in the next 2 to 2.5 years.
Right. So Powai market over there averaging around 19,652 rupees per square foot at the moment. But a lot of demand over there currently, because like Amit pointed out, there is an IT industry over there, there is a startup industry over there which is very, very active, which is thriving, which is actually driving demand for that particular market. Mihir says that he's looking for a 3 BHK ready to move in property in Noida, budget around 95 lakh rupees. Please suggest about the place. 95 lakh is a huge budget for Noida.
It is. It is a good budget for Noida for sure. I think most Noida prices are within the 4,000 to 5,000 rupees a square foot mark. So effectively you can buy a luxurious property of almost 1,500 to 2,000 rupees a square foot. If you look at Noida extension, then there are a number of projects, whether it's Gaur City, Earthcon, etc., which are super tech, which are delivered or nearly delivered, which are available at 3,500 rupees a square foot. I think great developments, very, very end consumer market. So therefore rentability is easy. People have there is very limited amount of volatility in pricing. It has remained flattish. You'll see again it's very range bound between 3,200 to 3,100 to 3,200 rupees a square foot. Very, very flat market, Noida extension, very attractively priced, great amenities. So I think that's a good market to look at. Within Noida again there are good developments around sector 77, 76, etc., 62, which are ready to move in. Slightly more expensive than Noida extension is, or Greater Noida West, but are available at close to about 4,500 rupees to 5,000 rupees a square foot. Again, flattish market, but obviously far better located in terms of metro connectivity.
But Amit, Mihir over here has a very nice budget to really play with. Which, in your mind, is the best location in the Noida area?
So I think obviously it is the downtown location. I mean, so there are projects by Logix, there is project by Wave, there are ready projects by ATS, etc. So I think you can look at a project if you're looking at that. For example, ATS gives a very good project in downtown. There is a project by Logix in downtown, which is all ready to move in. Obviously, that is the most prime location of Noida, where some of the luxury developments had even started to get tendered at anywhere between 8,000 to 12,000 rupees a square foot as well, Kavita. So people had started pricing it very expensive, which has now come down. So what was offered at 12,000 is also available at 7,000. So with that budget, you can buy a very prime downtown property at 7,000.
And is that what you would advise very quickly?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that is an aspirational buy. So if you have that budget and you have an aspirational buy, and it is right in the middle of the heart of Noida, it will always see upside. side. It's got the metro location already in place. As Noida continues to develop, as Noida continues to thrive, that vicinity will always have an aspirational value attached to it. So I think you can definitely look at
so
that.
Good budget over there, Mihir. So buy prime, buy downtown Noida. That's what you should be looking at with a 1 crore budget. Time for us to slip into a short break. But Property Hotline will continue on the other side. Keep sending in your questions. Welcome back. You are with Property Hotline and Amit Goenka is in the studio answering all your questions on buying, selling and investing in real estate. Let's move on to our next question, which comes in from Ramesh. Now, Ramesh says that he's looking for a 4 BHK flat in Noida extension for end use. I'm looking for something that is ready or near possession, he says. Budget around 1.5 crore rupees. Is this the right time to buy? Should I go ahead?
Well, I mean, first of all, the budget is a very luxurious budget for Noida extension. I mean, we just talked about Noida extension a few minutes back, and I mentioned that it's a great location because of the extension of the metro, which is happening towards the extension. Also, the fact that it's a consumer market, so we're seeing a lot of traction. In fact, in some of the investments that we made in Noida extension, we've seen, despite demonetization and despite the slowdown, a very, very healthy sale velocity and a very healthy trend of end consumers who are encashing on the deals being made available. The price continues to hover around 3,500 to 4,000 rupees a square foot. But with your budget, Ramesh, I think you can look at a number of very, very nice developments which are complete. For example, Supertech Oxford Square, which is ready, or whether it's Mahagun, which is going to offer possession very soon. You can look at something even as high as 3,000 square feet apartments, which will cost you close to about 1.1, 1.2 crores, which are very, very aspirational and very premium developments clearly in the Noida extension area. There is, of course, Earthcon as well, who has made a very, very nice development called Sanskriti and Casa Royal, which is ready for handover in the next few months. So I think you'll be very, very spoiled for choice in terms of your options. Most of the average ticket size in Noida extension is about 40 to maximum 50 lakhs. You have almost 3 times that budget. So clearly you have the option of buying and picking up the best opportunity that you have. Some of the premium developments I've already named to you. In terms of the potential, I think first of all, Noida extension is a mid-income market. So the largest consumption has happened in the 2 to 3 BHK segment, not so much in the 4 BHK or penthouse or larger developments. The second is that it is very, very rentable, but the rents are again at a certain band.
You know, Amit, the thing is, Ramesh is essentially looking for something for end use.
That's right.
But, you know, with a 1 crore budget, if you're looking at a market like Noida, would you recommend somebody going in and buying prime luxury property in Noida, or as in one flat in Noida, or would you recommend that they break it up?
Well, I mean, if it's for end use and you want a luxurious property.
No, I'm talking about investment.
Well, of course, if you're looking as an investor, then as I maintain that the price will stabilize at about 4,000 rupees in Noida extension as well over a short period of time, because you have an upside of almost 500 to 700 rupees, which is waiting to get captured, because we know what the cost structures are. And there is no new land available in Noida extension to actually give away anymore. The farmer issues have been sorted out. Whoever could have got land has got land. People are now offering delivery over the next 1 to 2 years, those who haven't been able to do it so far. So therefore, post that 2-year period when most of the delivery would have happened, I see the upside really kicking in and going to at least 4,000 rupees. And that is the time to actually see that 25-30% appreciation on your property over the next 2 to 3 years. But for that, you need to have a product which is marketable. And a marketable product is a 50 lakh product, because that's been the average ticket size in Noida extension. So if you were to actually invest as an investor, I would rather you have multiple projects, multiple investments across 1 or 2 projects, including Indirapuram or Ghaziabad and Noida extension, and break it up not just within Noida extension but also within the vicinity micro markets. And that is when you'll be able to capitalize on the upside in a better way, when that metro extension as well as when the upside starts coming in the next couple of years.
Right, so 3 to 4 year period is what you're looking at. If you are in the Noida market, that's when you should start looking at actually making money on whatever you're investing in today. But from Noida, let's go on to Bengaluru. Suman says that she plans to buy a flat on Bannerghatta Road, and she wants to know the current pricing and expected appreciation over the next 10 years. A lot of people talking appreciation now.
Absolutely, I think it's a good thought as well, Kavita. In fact, we've been toying with a number of ideas wherein we see that property prices have actually compressed in the last 2 years, between 15 to 2016, because people have actually cut prices. They've compressed the unit sizes, and they've made very, very affordable homes made available. And that brings you a very large opportunity to earn an upside. So the heydays of selling at highs are over. And obviously with the inventory overhang and the advent of extra FSI being granted to most micro markets, Bangalore being no exception, one should look at a low entry price, and which is why you'll see that all my recommendations are in the lower price band. I have not been carried away by the brand or by the price, but rather go for an efficient priced product, thereby the appreciation potential being the highest. Bannerghatta typically trades at close to 5,000 rupees a square foot. It is actually on par almost with your South Bangalore, Sarjapur, ORR pricing as such, because it has developed into a new IT hub. Away from the crowd of Electronic City or Whitefield, and therefore people have started moving into Bannerghatta. There are a number of good projects which are under construction, including Nitesh Hyde Park or Hirindani Queensgate, etc., which are available at that price band of 5,000. Given the premium being awarded to Bannerghatta, because it has come up as a premium destination, I think the prices will tend to stabilize closer to 7,000 rupees, which is where some of the products have already started getting priced.
But Amit, I want to draw your attention to this chart. If you look at it, Bannerghatta prices have actually gone down. We are seeing 11% drop over there. This is at a time when in other locations in Bangalore, we are seeing as much as 6 to 20% growth.
That's right.
So how would you really compare Bannerghatta? Because she's very clear about the fact that she's looking at appreciation over the next 10 years. Do you see this actually, picking up enough to give her a good capital appreciation?
See, I think you're right, Kavita, that it has been slow, and I think that is also an opportunity. Bannerghatta is a newer location. It is not as well touted or is not as well developed as some of the other ITS corridors have been. Because of the sudden advent of projects, Bannerghatta has come under pricing pressure. But because you have seen a dip of 11%, that makes your entry price far more attractive compared to other locations. Therefore, one can always expect that price to jump back to going to 5,500, 6,000 rupees on any given day. So that upside potential is actually reasonable. And because I think more importantly, the time horizon is very good. If one was looking at a 2 to 3 year horizon, I wouldn't recommend Bannerghatta at all. It will continue to remain under pressure, but you have a 10-year horizon. And as I said, that one is looking at a 7,000 price point to stabilize in that micro market. So, from a long-term perspective, in an upscale location like Bannerghatta, I think you'll definitely do well.
Right, Suman. So good time to enter the Bannerghatta market, because prices have come down, prices have come off over the last couple of years, but the market is poised to turn around, which means you should be buying now at Bannerghatta Road. However, you need to hold it, like you said, for at least 10 years to see good appreciation over there. With that, we come to an end of this episode of Property Hotline. Amit, thank you very much for coming in and answering all those questions.
Thank you,
and of course, anything on real estate, send in your questions and we'll get the country's biggest experts to answer your questions. Thank you for watching.